It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Still not sitting at 100%. Not even really close. Voice is still struggling, but it's not like Fridays. I don't think it's like Fridays. So there is that. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for listening to the Sean Widmer Podcast or watching it on YouTube. We're back there today. I appreciate it. Thanks to the Patreon members, patreon.com/Sean Widmer Podcast for supporting this, making it possible. Thank you. You can head over there, become a Patreon member. Trivia 21 coming out on Tuesday, unless my voice is dead on Monday, at which point I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but it should be. The trivia's been written. It's been written. Something new this week. Something new in the trivia this week. It'll be there Tuesday. We also kick the podcast off, as we do every week, by reading our 5-star reviews on iTunes. Any new 5-star review on iTunes, we read right here. You kick the show off, but there was no new ones, which means I have to throw a shout out. And my shout out today is going to something that's going on upstairs in my house right now. Something that I'm probably too excited about, and maybe you can help me out and tell me this is the dumbest thing in the world. I've always been sort of interested in them, even though I found out today they are one of the most given white elephant gifts of all time. They have 15 million units sold a year, the majority of those over the holidays. You can find them in Garfield, Scooby-Doo, Looney Tunes, Shrek, The Simpsons, SpongeBob. There are a Bob Ross version, so many versions of the Chia Pet. And we have got a Chia Pet going on upstairs. My daughter went garage sailing last week and got to pick something out, and she picked out a Chia Pet. It's a Yoda. It's a Grogu, Baby Yoda. It's that Chia Pet. And my wife was like, we're doing it, which I was so excited about. Now, I don't know if we did it right or wrong. We're going to find out. I have always had this weird captivation with Chia Pets. Never done one, never actually seen one live. So when we opened this box up, it was the first time I'd seen how a Chia Pet works or what goes on. You take the chia seeds and you get them wet and you make like a mud with these Chia Pet things, and then you're supposed to spread them all over whatever the object you're going to grow them on is. They harden onto it. Then you dump water into the device they're in, for us, Baby Yoda, of course. And then the water soaks through this material, which I also read is a terracotta. A terracotta. Is that right? Let me see. Terracotta. A non-vitreous ceramic. There you go. Anyways, it gets this all wet, and then that absorbs into the Chia Pets, the chia seeds, and it grows. Now, I looked at how my wife and Olivia did the Chia Pet. I was bummed they did it when I was gone, and I don't think we got a good spread of the seeds. But we'll see what happens. If it even grows a little, I am buying a Chia Pet. I've always wanted to do one. I always think they look cool. They're so dumb. They have always been a joke in my world. I've never seen one live, so maybe you have. At that point, should I be excited or not? Let's do a couple things. I wanted to talk about something about me I've realized, and then something parenting wise that I really dropped the ball on. Before we get into Kelly's What Are You Into today, and we're going to just see if I can get through this with my voice surviving. This happened to me last week, and I've realized it's happened a couple times in my new work. And I wish I had this. The most recent version happened on Thursday. And I was in the building, and my guy Michael is walking through the building around lunchtime. He's like, what's for lunch? He always asks everyone, what's for lunch today? And I'm a sandwich guy. I bring a sandwich to lunch the majority of the time. So he always knows I'm going to shoot him down, but he always asks because he's nice that way. And I listened to the conversation outside of my office, and there's some really good Indian food right down the road from us, from our building. Really good. and it's just rice with curry. You can get rice with curry on it, chicken curry. It's so stellar. And so someone said, "What about the curry, the Indian food?" And Michael goes, "Ooh, I already had Indian food this week, so maybe we try something else." And I realized I am jealous of those of you who may not realize this is a talent and something great. For those of you who can diversify like that, I am jealous because I could eat that Indian food every single day. When I'm into, mod pizza just came to mind. When I'm into mod pizza, when I'm in a mod pizza mode, I could eat it every day. It's not like, ooh, I had it this week, I'll have it again next week or the week after. I'm like, I'll have it lunch and dinner, and I'd be fine with it. I would not be tired of it. Music. I will listen to the same exact song for 2-3 straight days. Nonstop. 30-minute drive to work, 30 minutes back. I'll listen to one song, all 30 minutes there, all 30 minutes back. I will just hammer it home. Okay? I will play the same game nonstop. Some people diversify, and they're like, oh, we're playing Fortnite right now. Oh, now I'm playing college football. Now I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. And they'll diversify. I'm like, I'm on Baldur's Gate 3 right now. Well, I'm on Balatro right now. Let's not kid anyone. Balatro has taken over my brain. I mentioned it the other day. It's great. It has monopolized my thinking. My brain thinks in Balatro now. Highly recommend it. But I'm jealous of those of you who diversify, who can go to a restaurant and then the next day not want it again. If I went to a Chinese restaurant Monday, tomorrow, I guess today when this is released, I'll want it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll want it every day. It won't be a week or two. I'm jealous of you, those of you who don't. All right, I'm learning that about myself. I'd love to talk more about it. I can feel my voice leaving, so let's get quick with this. You know what? This will be my Kelly's What Are You Not Into?
Kelly's What Are You Into?
My Kelly's What Are You Not Into? I had this moment on Friday night. We had my mother-in-law's birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa. It was awesome. My mother-in-law asked for, at her house, a fire pit. And my father-in-law went in with it. And my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they made the greatest fire pit area in their backyard. It's amazing. It's so great. Great chairs. Hang on. I can feel the voice going. Sorry. Great chairs. Great actual fire pit. Oh, it's wonderful. And so we're there for her birthday party Friday night. It's great. The whole family's there. Kids are running around. I'm dripping sweat playing football with the boys. Awesome time. Awesome time. And so in the course of this, there's a lot of snacks around. And there's a tray on the table that's going to be for s'mores. It's got marshmallows. It's got chocolate. It's got graham crackers. And in the middle of this big holder for everything, it's got candy corn. Okay. My son has found this. And every time I'm looking over, I see him with handfuls of candy corn. And he's just loving life. And he's bouncing off the walls. Big night for Huck, man. He's going crazy. And I had my moment. I had my Hook. What's his name? Peter. What's his name in the movie? I just want to say Peter Parker, but obviously that's not right. What is his name? I can't move forward until I get Peter Denning. What is his name in it? Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Peter? You're doing it, Peter. Peter Banning. My Peter Banning moment. That is Peter Pan when he's not Peter Pan at the beginning of the movie. I went up to my son. I saw him grab a hand of candy. Walking away with it. Walked over to him. I took the candy corn out of his hand. And I said, Huck, you cannot have any more candy. It's going to make your belly sick. And I walked away. And in that moment, I felt my boyish nature exit my body as I became a curmudgeonly old man. I became just an old geezer. in that moment, taking the candy away from a kid who's having the best time in the world. I'm the guy who all of a sudden goes, you can't have any more chocolate, but it's going to give you a stomach ache. And I just felt it happen. I'm not a lost boy anymore. And it was a hard pill to swallow for the rest of the night because you can't just put the genie back in the bottle. Like, just kidding, Huck. It had been done. And I watched the light dwindle from his eyes as his night changed for the worse. And it was because Dad became old. So my Kellys, what are you not into? Getting old, losing my lost boyish nature, and being old Peter Banning. My voice is done. I gotta go. Let's read some comments real quick, and then I'm gonna get some sleep and maybe eventually get my voice back. Roberta said this, ouch, your voice makes my throat hurt. Honey and lemon juice for the win. Here, I'm gonna sip some. I got some tea. Did it work? Did it work? No, it didn't work. Like, I can feel in my body my voice being weak. It sucks. All right. Yvonne says this. Love the caramel apple Werthers. Maybe Dasani is more spendy. Okay, first of all, holding them up for YouTube. The best fall candy. It's either these or the caramel apple suckers. They're the suckers covered in caramel. Oh, I love those. Anyways, she said maybe Dasani is more spendy. We had the Dasani story. My buddy Vandy texted me. He had listened to Friday's podcast. And he said his kids think Dasani tastes like pool water. I had a Dasani on Friday. Maybe my nose is clogged, and that's the problem. I'm going to try another one. I had a Dasani before. Vandy told me it tastes like pool water. I drank it, whatever. But now I need to get completely with it. Drink one of these and see if they're as bad as people say they are. Dasani water. Vandy said they suck. So I'm going to take his word for it. Misk says this. This will be our final comment before I pass away. Really need to discuss Survivor. My BFF, this is sad. My BFF passed away a couple years ago and she was my connection. You and KJ were my second. Nobody else to chat with here. This week, come on, man. Rome. Somebody get him out of there. I've got so many Survivor thoughts that I want to talk about, but I literally don't want to force it with my voice because everything I'm talking about now, I'm shortening and I want to go off. Rome is terrible at this game, but he has survived enough that I think he's still a player. I don't know that Genevieve, I thought she was going to be solid. I don't know that she's going to be. Misk. I don't know that you can, I don't know right now that you connect yourself with Rome. Now, Genevieve has an opportunity here to bail on Rome and join him with Saul. At which point, that's a powerhouse right there. Those two could be really good. I think overall, the move to get Keyshawn out in a blindside that I did not see at all. An amazing strategical move. A blindside I didn't see. Huge move. Huge move. And Genevieve could use this to her advantage in a huge way and position herself really nicely. But I mean, they went for a major player right off the bat, which does not happen a lot, and they got it. They got it done. So I think that was a huge move in Survivor. I think Keyshawn seemed to be a favorite to win. Very strategic, seemed to be very likable. What had all the makings of a great contestant post-merge, and they cut off the head of the snake. Kudos to them. The other thing, just real quickly, I want to talk more about it. The new twist they threw in with the immunity idol and Sue, where she found an immunity idol, where it led her to a rope. She cut the rope to get her idol out of this, to drop out of this tree. Well, it dropped out of the tree in a big vase filled with red paint. Shattered all over the ground. Red paint goes everywhere. Looks like blood. And she had to cover it up to try to hide that she had found an idol. It was brilliant producing by the Survivor producers and a twist that I just loved. I loved it. She has an idol. I think she got sniffed out on it. We'll see how this goes. But I thought that was brilliant television. All right. I got to go rest my voice. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you all.